And so, John, from there is when you learned being in that business. So, what was your process? I definitely want like a clear view of your process from leaving that limousine company or detailing those cars to, hey, now I saved a certain amount of money and I'm gonna start my own business, but I don't have clients now. So, or did you already?
Well, that is very interesting. So,
Wings Mobile Detailing is completely reinventing what auto care means, and with that comes opportunity. We offer you a chance to leverage our 5-star franchise business model.
what happened was my dad had gotten very sick. So I had to relocate from Florida to Charlottesville, Virginia. But at the same time, I needed a job to survive because I would help him out to alleviate some of the costs of a caregiver. It was that bad. He was suffering from cancer. And so I didn't have a van. So what I did was, in my infinite wisdom, if you will, I made a photocopy. We'll wash your car, wash, wax, wheel clean, tire shine, vacuum for $40. And I passed these flyers, black and white, right off a photocopy machine and started passing them out in the neighborhood. Mind you, I didn't have the van. So I would have a vacuum that I'd walk to their house
What like
with
yeah.
another bag with windshield cleaner and Armor All, as we spoke about earlier, etc., wheel cleaner and tire shine. And I would go to the customer location.
But how would you get to the client's house?
Walk. Radio station of the community.
They contacted you.
They got a copy of the flyer. So I got a call from this woman one day and said, John, they also know me by JC, my nickname. And they said, JC, I just got your flyer and I'm leaving the radio station. It was a woman. And I'd like you to come on board with Groupon. So I said, yeah. Met with her, signed the contracts. 2 weeks later, she's suggesting I put up a website, which I did. I started looking for a van. And all of a sudden, it goes live one day online.
This Groupon thing
Yes.
and the radio as well.
Right. At the end of the week, I had 400 new details. 400.
You hit a jackpot there.
I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to do any of the work. Groupon and the radio station cumulatively put it
That
together.
was 27 years ago, would you say?
They're about ish time-wise. And so I was under the gun. I couldn't possibly do 400 myself. So I started looking for workers, which wasn't very hard. People in Charlottesville, it's pretty easy. A lot of college students wanted extra work.
Now, real quick, John, on this
Sure.
Groupon thing, do you still do it nowadays? Or market through Groupon? Or because it has changed a lot, I assume.
We
with-
come
with
back from
Groupon.
the need for that, and that's only intermittent, usually during the wintertime. There's no need to do it during the spring and summer. We have so much business. We have so much business coming through the pipeline after this many years, decades, that it fuels itself.
Yes.
And the referrals and their referrals. So there's no real expense to advertising.
Yes.
In fact, advertising, I think, would hurt us more than help us.
Because then you wouldn't be able to
We wouldn't be
handle-
able to complete all the jobs. Whether I had 5 or 10 vans, it's still
Yes.
going to come in volume, so it wouldn't matter. I could have 100 vans and I still couldn't. And then you'd have to find all the workers to supplant that.
And that's what I find interesting because I know, speaking to like the detailing community, who is people who are starting out now, you know, they worry too much sometimes about their competition. They see other detailers as competition, and like the experience that you have here, the amount of success, the vans, you're saying that even if you have more vans, you wouldn't be able to handle it, and so there's no need for them to
you know,
be
you brought
worried.
something up.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of comical the way I'm going to reply to that. Is I run into other detailers. I know pretty much every detailer that's in the Richmond general area. And that's just by occasion running into them, same job sites. But I'll get some from time to time. Yeah, I've been doing this for 35, 40 years. I'm the best in the business. And I reply, I suck. In fact, when a
Yes.
customer says, are you going to do a good job? I'm
Yes.
pretty not much of mine to reply, I'll do my very best, because I don't want to give them a level of anticipation or a level of service that I can't do to rise to their level of expectation, because everybody's got a different level of expectation. So if I say I'm the best and I'm going to do a fabulous job and I'm going to charge you outrageously for this detail, then I'm hurting myself. But if I humble myself
Yes.
and like tell the other detailers I suck, thing is, they'll look a different view once they see the vehicle and make their own self-determination. And quite frankly, there's a lot of grandiosity with some of the detailers out there that they really do believe they're the best. So I'm not going to fuel their little
Yes.
issues running through there.
What I was so excited when we were saying that right now is because I truly believe that, because we study a lot of successful business owners in other industries, multimillionaires who you see who are growing businesses, and these people are usually they have a common trait, which is being humble. Right? They believe in their product, right? They believe that they can do a great service,
Right.
like you and I do. They believe all that the client will be satisfied, but they don't oversay it. They're humble.
Right. Even in
In
this
a way.
area, Andre, from time to time, I see various detail companies that have been around quite a long period of time. And not bashing anybody, but there are certain podcasts and YouTube videos and that they're trying to purport different styles and techniques and different levels of waxes and sealants, et cetera, et cetera.
Product technologies.
Exactly, and which is good. Some it's more than just that presentation on a video. It goes into detailing. Even if they give you a show that they're washing the car and waxing the car, or applying the sealant, how they're applying the sealant, there's so much more to it. Where it really, and you probably will never hear it in a video until you've heard it from me, is that it's about your passion to make it like it's your own. And if you treat that as if it's your own, like your own wife, your children, your jewelry, and you treat it as if it's your own, and you purport that out to the community, it relaxes the customer. They make their own self-determination, their own level of expectation. All of that early broadcast is just inciting a much higher level.
Yeah.
That's my viewpoint on it.
Yeah.
They're very helpful, like I said in the beginning, but there has to be a balance in that presentation so as not to give the consumer an unrealistic expectation.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where it would hurt your business and your credibility.
Yeah. So but having the confidence as well, like especially starting off detailers who think there's always more than enough vehicles for not only for everyone present now, but for also who's coming, upcoming in the
absolutely.
industry. And that's a great point, because
And visiting that, just to let you know, from time to time, I'll get calls. I've got 10 years experience. I don't need you. I don't want you.
yes,
I want the person, and I'm not being biased or prejudiced towards it, believe me, but I want them trained my way. The
Yes.
same way where I started, because why change what works?
yes,
If I've got young man, young woman, 18, 20, 25, whatever, wants to learn the trade, I'd rather show them the good habits and let them follow that trail.
that's a great employment tip right there.
Yes,
So
yes.
you look for people who, because that can be a problem. Hey, I have all these
Absolutely.
years of experience. They convey that to you. And
Right.
that's- Yeah.
But then they also have shortcuts, they have tricks, they have side steps as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
So again, I'd prefer, there's an old saying, a bee will always follow the honey. Let the bee start here, the bee
Yes.
will follow the honey. And it's a great way to live life
Yeah.
and learn from experience and learn your new trade anew. You know, when you go to a trade school and you go for welding, you don't start at the middle of the class.
Now, going just to cover up as well, going a little bit back there.
Sure.
You, in a way, you hit the jackpot when you were starting the business. You grind it out, but when you got that account, the radio calling you, and then you applied the coupon, did you have to put money?
Good
For a
question.
coupon?
I didn't have
A
to spend a
coupon?
dime. It was all commission based. So if they sold the detail for $100, they would give me a portion of that $100 to do the work.
Yeah.
And I believe back then it was like 15% of the 100,
Yeah.
which is de minimis. And so I would complete the service.
The profit margin wasn't high though, right? Because
Oh,
you had
not
to
at
offer
all.
discount.
Oh, yeah. And the
yeah.
best thing of all,
But it was a great to begin with. It was great.
oh
right?
my
Because
gosh.
with
And
the-
Andre, let me tell you where it was a home run. So they sold it for $100, i.e., somewhere close in that proximity, times 400, and sent me a check immediately. So what did JC do? I went out and looked for a van and got a van, and then put a water tank in it. I had my next door neighbor who was the same age help me hook things up,
Yeah.
and in 3 days I was in business.
There you go. Yeah.
And the irony of it all was I brought the van into Richmond,
Uh-huh.
and I was coming to meet some folks for lunch. And I said, I'm going to run the van through the car wash. So I'm on the other side of town in Tuckahoe, where they had these pressure washer kind of car washes, these old-fashioned ones, probably around 1995 or so.
Uh-huh.
And I ran it through, and it stripped the paint. It had lines going through the white, like 4 different lines going through. It was too high. It was set too high.
For a client's car, that was.
That was my new
Oh,
van.
your new van,
used
okay.
van that I got for $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what happened to
It
me?
became your new logo. I'm kidding.
I couldn't believe it. I was saddened at first, but then
Yeah,
made the
yeah.
complaint to the owner of the car wash.
Yeah.
Do you know their insurance repainted my van? So now I've got a 10-year-old van that went through a car wash, non-planned. They had the paint stripped, and they reimbursed to have the vehicle
Had
painted.
the vehicle re-
Now I've got a 10-year-old van with a brand new paint job,
Oh yeah.
and then put the name of the company off on the side.
Yeah.
And I'm in business. And the paint was kind of chipped along and old
Yeah.
and kind of discolored, if you will. But now, thanks to a faulty car wash, I got a brand new paint job.
Yeah. People who are starting their business as well in other places or wherever. A lot of them can get into business, and 99% of them fail. When we see that, not sure. I mean, I do see that all the time. People who are starting their business, their detailing business, 99% they either go into excited or they go in wanting to get all their money and invest in things they don't have to. There's some control. Now, and because they're not expecting to struggle, they're thinking that everything is just a smooth ride. Work for themselves and easy.
That's a grandiose way of thinking.
Yeah, that's not how it works, right? And
Not at all.
You started carrying your own equipment.
I walked
without
it
a
to the
car.
customer's location.
Yeah.
I had to feel that struggle
Uh-huh.
to go to the next level.
Yes.
And so we were talking about expectations a few moments ago. The thing is, I don't leave room for an expectation. I go and I work it through, problem solve a situation if need be. But it all goes down to the basics. Yeah, there's been some turbulence along the way, but it's really just learning from experience.
Yes.
And so for the newcomer, don't expect anything.
Uh-huh.
Start at ground level.
Yes. Work hard. Work for a goal, right? Work
Right.
to grow.
Pardon me.
But don't expect it to be easy in a way, right?
Don't
Would you say
project.
that?
Yeah, don't project.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
What's
that's
supposed
great.
to happen will happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are ways you can obviously take leverage of something to make it more smooth, better, and grow faster. But there's always business is business. Business is business.
And you have to leave room for change.
Yes.
You know, if you're coming out of one profession, let's say hypothetically you're working at Walmart as a cashier, and then you're jumping into auto detailing. You have to take a few steps back. You know nothing about it.
Yeah.
So just
humble.
absorb as much as you can.
Be
And
humble.
YouTube videos are very helpful.
Uh-huh.
Talking to other detailers is very helpful. Going to work before you start your own business is extremely helpful.
Yeah.
Go to work for somebody else first. Learn the trade.
Yeah.
And you're getting a free education by working or being employed with a detail company before you ever think about doing it on your own. So, food for thought.
Yeah.
Gain knowledge. Knowledge is power.
That's smart. And I actually had a great YouTuber out there who's used to be an employee for Wings as well.
Let's see.
He started off wanting to learn everything.
Right.
He worked for Wings, and I thought it was great.
Absolutely.
He started off grinding there, learning everything he could, and to even because he had that idea to apply to his business as well.
Right.
And learning, humbling yourself, knowing, and we're always going to be always learning.
Right.
That's what I think is amazing. Now, to overview, John, you had your first van, you start grinding out there. I'm sure you went through a lot of struggles, a lot of successes
Absolutely.
to get to this point. And then you start, how long until you bought you thought that, oh, hey, now I actually want to grow a business and actually have employees and not be self-employed?
It wasn't
Was there
so
a
much
change?
about growing the business as it was fulfilling the business that we already had.
So
The business was already in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even giving thought to growing the business because I wanted to get the business that we had on the books and coming inward done. So I said, you know what? I'm
you
going to get
didn't want
another
to say
van.
no to clients who were
Oh,
calling.
right. Oh, no. I never wanted to say no.
Yes.
So what I did was I bought 2 vans at one time at a dealership out in Charlottesville.
How long after the first van?
About a year and a half.
About a year.
Yes. And so I shuttled those into Richmond, had our signage put up, and those are mobile billboards, the signage. When you say mobile auto detailing, cars, vans, trucks, boats, phone number, we come to you, it's a mobile billboard. You're driving it around town, people are seeing it.
Yes.
It's self-advertising. Again, we don't spend any money in advertising. That's the way it goes.
I think also speed is power on that. The more you can, if somebody's looking to grow, each person has their own point of view.
Absolutely.
But the more, speed is power in a way that there are ways to acquire more speed, faster growth, I believe. Either by, like you did Groupon.
Right.
It took you some effort to acquire that, time perhaps. Open-minded to see the opportunity, mindset as well, and
Absolutely, and keep
surround
healthy
yourself.
minds.
Yeah,
Yes.
surround yourself with great
Yes.
people. Yes.
So if you have a dud head worker, why would you keep them on? You're paying them to do the work to impress the customer and do a good job. So if that particular person didn't work out, this is about business.
Yeah.
Just make the suggestion, try and get some improvement from the worker. I mean, I always try to see if they could succeed. And I'll test the waters for a while and give it some time. And if they don't, they don't. I could always move them to a different function, answering telephones, what have you, and just explain, maybe this isn't your thing.
You have them in the right place.
Right,
So
right. At least I've
whoever's-
got a valuable worker. I've already
Yes.
started with them, started building a rapport and a relationship. But yeah, it's for some people. I never thought in a million years that I would be taking off a suit off Wall Street to go to a shirt and t-shirt and shorts to clean cars. But I did. And it's the best thing that ever happened. And I make my own hours.
And the money part.
And that just comes through. There's a new one.
That's
It's called
great.
Cash App. Are you familiar with it?
Cash App, yeah.
It's got this sound on the phone that sounds like cash.
Oh, yeah.
Coins being dropped.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how my body reacts when I hear that sound. It's
It's better than the Wall
I
Street
call
bell.
it money on Viagra.
Oh, that noise. It's better than the Wall Street bell, I bet.
Right. But I'll be on a job site and hear,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, we got it.
Yes. No huge stress. That
Right,
it's
right.
not coming. I completed the job. The money's coming.
Well, I was
As easy
thinking
as
of that
that.
sound for a meditational video, like Cash App just continues.
Oh man. Now, John, to finalize it, so to this point, and I definitely want to see your interest because you're into franchising with Wings as well, to
Right,
licensing
absolutely.
with Wings.
Yeah.
Because we're talking on the phone before. You were interested, saw the training videos for your employees, and the calendar as well, the clients. What was it that you first? How did you find out about it initially on licensing with Wings?
Well, from the very beginning of this interview today, is we were talking about reputation. So reputation speaks very loudly. Someone that's aggrieved and unhappy, that speaks exceptionally loudly because they post negative reviews, et cetera, like that. But when you're doing a good job, it echoes. So you and I are Now, mind you, Charlottesville, back to where you are in the
Yeah.
Richmond general area,
Yeah.
we're over 100 miles.
Yeah.
But I've got wings in my eardrum
Uh-huh.
from a customer that utilized wings. And they said they did a wonderful job.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That part I didn't know. That's
well,
new to me.
I saved my secrets for the right time. So I went from there, and then I started looking into the website and information, and came across some YouTubes, and I said, you know what, this seems like an appropriate fit, and it's
That's
that
awesome.
point of our business,
Uh-huh.
being several decades in business now, that it was time to move to the next level.
Uh-huh.
Appropriate time, like I've been saying during this whole
Yeah.
interview, is that combining sharp minds
Yeah.
and bringing them into business,
Love that. Yeah.
that's what it's about. And
Yeah.
that's how it flourishes, and you keep going to the next level. And two heads are better than one.
Mm-hmm.
You have John and Andre.
Yeah.
So you formulate that, and I adopt your ideas, you adopt my ideas. We kind of put it together, put them in sync, see what we come up with. And
Absolutely.
that's how major conglomerate companies are put together. Think about what you're doing today. You only got today. You don't know if you're going to be around tomorrow anyway.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, that's all our higher power. Who makes that a
Correct.
determination?
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing is just take baby steps. And if you take the baby steps and gain the knowledge and gather it from other people and go to work every day, push yourself,
Yeah.
it doesn't come on a silver platter. You got to push.
That's awesome. And I promise I didn't pay John to say all this.
Nope, not at all. This is true.
There's no check here underneath passing through.
But it
I
was
appreciate that. No, that's-
reputation. It was reputation.
That's incredible. I did not know that. We spoke on the, I mean, obviously we've been speaking on the phone.
Oh, we spoke
before.
endlessly on the
Yeah,
phone. Not
but-
5-minute phone
But it was
calls.
the very first time.
Oh, well, we were talking shop back and
Yeah.
forth, back and forth.
It was the first time that I knew about that was through a client.
Right.
That's very interesting. That's
Yes.
awesome. Yeah. And John, thank you very much for sharing your story.
It's a pleasure.
Years of experience. It's great for detailers too. And if anybody has any questions, reach out because there's always a lot to learn. I've learned a lot
gotcha.
with John. I learned myself from parts of employees, on the interview process of employees. There's always some golden nuggets that helps in any
That was
detailing
golden, not chicken McNuggets. Okay.
Yeah, some very well Whole Foods type. Oh man, but thank you again, John.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. We continue to grind, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
We'll talk again.
Yes,
right.
definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.